Greetings and salutations, this is Rick. I do hope you're having a great day. In today's video, we're going to be investigating the idea of a road trip. A couple of days ago, I got a notification from YouTube saying, congratulations, you've been on YouTube for 18 years. Has it really been 18 years? That's terrifying. But I remember when I first started the channel, it was called Rick Van Man. It still is. But it was around the time when I first discovered vans, and I'd built my first homemade or self-built camper van conversion in a panel van. And I had this little Renault Master, and I'm still driving a Renault Master today. Great little vans, and I had quite a lot of adventures in it, and it was really good. But in all that time, I've owned that self-built caravan or motor caravan. I have never, that I can recall, I have never gone on a proper bona fide road trip. And this year, I think that's going to change. Now, I've said this year I want to get used to the idea of getting some miles under my belt, getting some actual travel, getting out there, leaving the house, the confines of my house, which is kind of a big deal for me because I'm kind of like a little bit agoraphobic, and it does make getting out there quite difficult. But I have a family relative who was very much like me. The idea of like traveling and driving long distance was like a major deal to them. And going on holiday once a year was it was like an expedition into the unknown. And then they got a job where they were servicing these machinery parts. And that job gave them a van and required them to go long distances, and they ended up doing like places that 5 or 6 hours drive away in a day. And within a very short space of time, the thought of just going on a really long drive was just second nature to them. They didn't even think twice about it. And that's the kind of programming I'm hoping to give myself. And the only way I'm going to be able to do that is to actually get in the van and go. Just get out there, start driving, start getting some miles under my belt, and just getting used to the idea of traveling. So that's the plan. So today I'm going to sit down and I'm going to try to figure out my first road trip, like proper genuine road trip. I have never ever been on a road trip, not that I can recall. Whenever I go anywhere, it's always, say like home is A, it's always been like from A to B, maybe have a little look around B and then come back to A. It's so rare, and in fact I don't ever recall doing it, where I go from A to B and then to C and then maybe to D or E and maybe even an F before coming back to A. That in my head is what a road trip's all about, and so that's what I'm going to be planning today. So come on, let's see what we can come up with. If you're old like me, you may remember these books. This one's from 2006, but I keep it in the van just in case. Now, most of the time when I'm looking at maps, I use the phone. I use a Google Maps. Google Maps is tied into my CarPlay. I put a little CarPlay unit in Guinevere. So it's really good. I find where I want to go on here, and then as soon as I get into Guinevere, the CarPlay connects with it and it automatically goes to Google Maps. It's a brilliant system. But it's really nice to actually just look at a good old-fashioned map and see it laid out in front of you without sort of having to scroll on screens and stuff. So this is good. So I figured for my first decent road trip, I want to do something a little bit like a mini version of the North Coast 500, which is Scotland. But I don't want to go to Scotland yet. That's a long way off at the moment. But I want to do an equivalent. So I'm going to choose Wales. Now Wales is it's another country technically, although it's all part of the United Kingdom. But Wales is very pretty. And especially the further north you go, and it's kind of like a mini Scotland, sort of in the northern area of Wales. You get some amazing mountains and foothills and everything, and it's just very, very pretty. So I think I'm going to start there. And what I was thinking of doing was going to somewhere around sort of the Fishguard area, which is right down in South Wales, and then working my way up the coast until I get to North Wales, and then maybe even the Isle of Anglesey, which is the very northern most part of, or northwestern part of Wales. It's kind of a big island, and I wouldn't mind a look at that because I've never been there. So what I got to do is figure out how to do it. Now, my biggest question mark, and if you're a van lifer and you've done this before, maybe you can give me some tips here, because I'm thinking on day one, the day before I go, I'm going to phone ahead to a campsite and say, right, I want to stay with you for one night and book in. And then that way, that gives me an actual destination to get there. Now, if I'm going to like the Fishguard area, that's about 4.5 hours drive from where I am. However, there is also a road which is up near Abergavenny, that's page 22, which takes me through the Elan Valley. Now, the Elan Valley, I did that drive many years ago, and it's a beautiful mountain road, takes you past loads of huge, great reservoirs. So there's part of me thinking, well, do I want to do that, which is kind of like southern mid Wales or sort of mid Wales area, or do I want to do the coastal route? There's like, at this stage, I'm not sure I can do both, because otherwise it means I've got to go up to mid Wales, do the Elan Valley, and then drop right down again to start at Fishguard. So I think I may do the Elan Valley another time. And then I could literally go straight to mid, or there again, I could go from home through the Elan Valley to mid Wales, sort of Aberystwyth area, and then work my way up the coast that way, which just means I'm cutting out this sort of lower southern part of Wales. I could do South Wales on a different trip, couldn't I? You know what? Hearing that out loud kind of makes me lean towards that a little bit more. Let me double check. So you've got right, so there's the reservoirs. So that's the Elan Valley here. So it takes you past a place called, what have we got? We've got somewhere called Newtown. We've got somewhere called Llanidloes. Llanidloes. I'm not very good with these Welsh names. And Llangwrig. I think this is the mountain. I'm going to have to locate the exact mountain road. In fact, I did a little series of videos years ago with my old original van called The Search for Shangri-La. I think it's in one of my pinned choice pick things below. And I stumbled across this signpost in the middle of nowhere that said Mountain Road to... And I followed it, and it just took me through it was like this amazing little bit of, this little ribbon of tarmac that went for miles and miles and miles through these amazing valleys and hills and mountains and everything. It was brilliant. And I wouldn't mind finding that road again, but I'm not entirely sure where it was. But I know it took me past a place called Devil's Bridge, which I remember that specifically. But how do I do this? How do I, like things like campsites? I don't want to do wild camping. I know wild camping is an option, but it's not something I'm that comfortable with. So I'd much rather stay at site. Now I have joined the Caravanning and Camping Club, and they've got, let's just call it up. They've got an app, and I can show you, where are we? If I can actually record the screen, I think. So they got this site called Site Seeker, and if I log in and go to explore, there we go. So if I go to, let's say, I've got the word Abergavenny in my head, but I think it might have been Aberystwyth. YTH, and then just do a general search. There we go. So Aberystwyth, there is one site called Pantmoir Farm, and that's open all year round. Prices from £10 to £30 a night. Now, the beautiful thing about this app with the Caravanning and Camping Club is you can straight away just hit a button and call to book, which is good. It gives you all sorts of information about it. This is a certified site, so you can only have a small number of things on there. But then if I want to get directions, I just click that. It takes me straight to Google Maps. It works out exactly where we're going. It's given me 3 options, and there we go, 3 hours and 37 minutes. So it will take me straight there. And then as soon as I get into Guinevere, it will transfer that to the Google CarPlay. And then it will be on my sat-nav in Guinevere. It's a really cracking system. I can do that from home in 3 hours and 37 minutes. That's good. I like that. In fact, that is faster than going down to Newport in South Wales, which was going to be 4.5 hours. Okay, so what I might do then is I'll phone ahead for the first campsite, but then if you're doing a road trip, do you then pre-book all of your future stays, or do you just kind of aim north, and then when it's getting to sort of, I don't know, mid-afternoon, you estimate where you're likely to be, and then phone ahead and try to get a campsite, on the off chance? Is it more risky doing it that way? Because if you can't get a place, then I guess you're stuck with wild camping, or you just got to keep driving. I don't know how it works. I've never done one before. But the thing is, if I book ahead in advance, say I want to go for like 4 days, and I start near Aberystwyth, and then I want to head north because I want to have a look around the north. Do I just go like straight to the north? I mean, I could do that in a couple of hours, and then book a place like in advance for the following day. But then what happens if I'm in the Aberystwyth place and I think this is really nice? I perhaps want to spend a couple of days here to have a little look around. But if I've already booked ahead, that's not going to work, is it? So how do you do this on a practical level? It's sort of it's a bit of an unknown to me at the moment. The thing is, if you do this all the time, you've probably got a method, you've got a way of doing it. But I'm thinking, book the first place before I leave, and then I've got a target location. That's a bit of a no-brainer. But then from there, I don't know, I start aiming north, and then, like I say, probably mid-afternoonish or mid-morning, if I've decided a place to stay, then I can phone ahead and try to book. And then how do you find out, if I'm going to head north, what other things along the way do I want to research the places and aim for them to have a look around, maybe a couple of places during the day to visit? Or do I just follow my nose and think, oh, this seems like a nice, interesting place, I'll stick around here for an hour or two? I am completely clueless as to how you do a road trip. Do you plan it with military precision, or do you just follow the road and see where you end up? I have no idea how to do this. If I book 4 days off to go and do this, I feel like I just want to follow the road, just follow my nose and just have a mooch around, go along the coastal roads, and just see what's out there. And then maybe I think I'm going to do that for my first trip. I'm going to do that, I think. Rather than book ahead, I'll book the first place just to get me there. That makes sense. But then the rest, I think my instinct is to just trundle on up, follow the coastal path, follow the road, and just see what's about. Maybe have a quick look around, stop every half an hour, just have a little look ahead, see if there's anything of interest that might be worth aiming for. I think I'm going to do that for my first road trip. And hopefully I will learn what works and what doesn't. We're talking baby steps here. This is my first ever road trip. So I'm very, very green on how this all works. And I think I'm just going to have to throw myself in there and just follow the road and see what happens. That makes sense to me. But if you've got a better idea, please do feel free to let me know in the comments below. Because at the moment, I'm genuinely clueless as to how this whole road trip thing works. Let's go to page 30. But yeah, this is the Isle of Anglesey that I'm actually quite interested. I've never been further north than sort of the Snowdon area. And this is one of the places I'm pondering on the whole moving thing. This is one of the places that I'm quite attracted to, because I could actually get a place here that's not, you know, mental money. But it's a place I've never been to. So it would be nice to see that area. And I'm hoping to do that on this road trip. But obviously, we'll see how it unfolds. But yeah, I'm kind of excited. Looking at this on a map, it's just kind of, I love looking at maps, because it's like looking at a little miniature version of the world, and sort of knowing I sort of live over here, and I can sort of zoom into here in a day, take in the Eland Valley and everything. I'm really looking forward to that, because the Eland Valley is just beautiful. And then, yeah, work my way up, maybe the second night around this sort of northern area. It would be kind of cool to go in onto this sticky out bit here, because I've never been here either. And then like Port Maddock, and then whatever's out here. Maybe I have to look at it in virtual reality. Or I'll just go there, see it with my own eyes. And then, like I say, 30, 31. Oops. Yeah, this sticky out bit here, Penthrinlin, it's got stamped across it. But I know I did look, when I was doing that house searching thing, I did look at the little town of Criccieth, and it was a idyllic little town. And then I looked at the property prices, and it was stupid. The house prices were absolutely ridiculous. You're talking about £500,000 for a tiny little bungalow with a little driveway. It was stupid. And I understand why people, it's happening a lot in Spain as well. People are getting really frustrated with people who buy second properties and holiday homes in these places, because they push the value of the houses up so far out of the reach of people who live there locally, so they can't buy houses. I mean, it's a different thing if you're going there to live, but to get your second house, and it looked like this place, it was just full of holiday lets. If you looked on Google Maps, you look at all the front doors, they've all got those little key boxes, which means they're generally sort of those Airbnbs and things like that. And it's just, I totally get why people just get so frustrated with it. And I was, like I say, I was hearing a lot the other day about it's the same in Spain. Lots of people are buying up properties in Spain, pushing the cost of the properties up, and all the locals, they can't buy a house anymore. They can't live there. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. For me on this road trip, I'm just going to be a tourist, and I'm not, well, I suppose in a way this road trip is, I'm sort of a little bit going there with a view to seeing if there's anywhere that I fall in love with that I want to live. But the main goal at the moment is just to get some miles under my belt, get used to the idea of travel. So this is what I'm planning. So anyway, yeah, North Wales, Mid Wales, Eland Valley, coastal, maybe just follow the coast all the way around Wales, and then cross over onto the Isle of Anglesey, and then maybe follow the coast around as well. How does that compare with the Isle of Wight? I'm just curious, size-wise. So that's the Isle of Wight, that's the Isle of Anglesey. Oh, interestingly, right, so the Isle of Anglesey is, I'm going to say, probably twice the size of the Isle of Wight. Interesting. And it's only a stone's throw away from the Isle of Man. So, okay, so that's the, well, it's not really the planning done, but this is the first time I've sat down and looked at a map to see exactly where I want to like go. And that, I think, I'm not going to plan it too much. I'm just going to start off in, what was it, Aberystwyth, And then I'm just going to head north and then probably hug the coast all the way around. However many days that takes, whether it's like 1 or 2 days, maybe even 3 days, get myself to the Isle of Anglesey, have a good look around up there, and then see what's what. It'll either be get up early, you know, on the last day, get up really early and then head back home, maybe come through Shropshire area. And I want to avoid Birmingham at all costs because it's just like a massive car park from what I've heard. But I could come back via Shrewsbury, Kidderminster, Worcestershire and home that way. But I would probably get up really early in the morning and just head home all the way, or turn round, come back down again, come back down through Wales, because Wales is so scenic. I could come back down through the sort of the North Wales Snowdonia area and then eventually turn left and come in via like Monmouth and Gloucestershire way. Don't know. I'll decide on the day as I do it. But I think that's my road trip planned. So now I've got to think about equipping Guinevere, and I got to figure out what I need to take. Food wise as well, I've got to figure out food. I've had that food intolerance test come back, and I can't do, there's so many things I can't do. I can't do wheat, I can't do gluten, I can't do yeast, I can't do cow's milk, and I can't do egg whites. So I've got to plan some food that I can take with me, possibly figure out what I can and can't buy on the way, if assuming I run out of food at some point. But I think I'll leave that for another video, like the planning the journey, the foodstuffs. That'll make another video in itself. But today I'm just pondering the road trip and I'm gonna go for it. And this is gonna be the first of hopefully many, that would be good, road trips. And I just wanna get used to the idea of traveling long distance again, because it's not a thing at the moment. If I can get miles under my belt, clock up those miles, so I can think about journeys further afield without it being a massive deal, I think we'll be onto a winner with that. And then hopefully, who knows, Scotland, maybe even the European continent at a later date. But I've got to get out there, get the rubber on the road and make it happen. So this is part one. Part two will be equipping Guinevere, and we'll do that in the next video. So that's it for this video. Be really interested to hear your tips and advice in regard to planning a journey, especially if you're a van lifer and you've done this sort of thing, and it's like, you know, you do this sort of thing all the time. I'd love to hear any tips or hints or advice, particularly on, you know, how to figure out where you're going to stay at night and when you phone ahead or whatever. Anyway, look forward to reading your comments, and I will see you in the next video. So thanks for watching and have a great rest of the day.